Gender Doubles Day, the best players in the world are in Seattle in search of fame and bounty in the blooming sport of pickleball.
They sure are, and they are all excited to be here at the birthplace. And can you imagine the founding fathers seeing their little backyard game come to life like it has? Later today, the women will be out there. Annalie Waters is a superstar, but we're going to start with the guys. Ben and Collin Johns are an absolute force. They've lost but one time all year. And Michelle, we'll see if the youngsters can get after it.
Ben and Collin Johns, to put it succinctly, they've cornered the market on the sport. They don't lose. They've only lost one match all season long, so they face a couple of unknown entities. Aidan and Clayton, 17 and 16 years old, so Collin Johns, a staple in the sport. Why should these underdogs believe they have a chance against Collin and younger brother Ben Johns?
The time to get them is early in the tournament. That one loss they had to Philip Locklear and Ben Newell was early on, but that guy right there is the undisputed GOAT of the game, and he just keeps getting better. He's got all of the tools, and then the scary part for these two is they're the smartest and most strategic players out there. The good news for the youngsters on the other side is we know Ben and Collin have never seen them before, so they don't have a book on them, and that's a big opportunity.
Also, first match of the day here in Seattle. The Johns brothers still waking up this morning, and it's a full day of action, full weekend of action. Here's Clayton Powell. He is just 16 years old, based out of Bend, Oregon, and a player to watch on the rise. His partner, that's Aidan Schenk. He is 17 years old, based out of Portland, Oregon. Incredible attitudes. We talked to them before this match, said, okay, you're on national television facing the best duo pickleball has to offer. How you feeling? Their response, just go out and have fun. We literally have nothing to lose.
They do have nothing to lose, and they had to qualify in earlier in the week, Michelle, and they finished first in the quali, so a little confidence coming in on these courts. And they have the ability to probably make game one really close. They have a unique style. We talked to Eric Lang, one of the best pros on tour, who is from the Pacific Northwest, and he says, really watch out for Aidan Schenk because he has what he called a funky game, which is the way he holds the paddle. It's similar for pickleball fans of Riley Newman, which is what a more forehand-dominated pancake grip. So we'll see if these two are up and ready to take on the teenagers. What a fun opportunity for these two. Let's see how the nerves, I know those heartbeats are going 1,000 miles an hour.
Aidan Schenk on the return in the white, playing the right side. His partner, Clayton Powell on the left in the gray. Collin Johns, the first server. Dribbler will award the youngsters the first point of this match.
That'll alleviate some nerves just to get the first rally, no matter how it happens.
0-0-1.
Rare miss from Ben Johns into the net. Aidan Schenk, by the way, in the white, the server, was a competitive rock climber before pickleball. Things you only hear from teenagers in Portland, Oregon.
And he talked to us about the fact he doesn't have the racket sports background, so he has some very funky strokes, and that's the beauty of pickleball. There isn't a right way to play it. There's a right way for you to play it, and he has got it figured out so far.
Second serve.
Clayton Powell found the sport.
2-0-2.
His grandma got him into it. Beauty of the sport, you can really play with anybody.
Huge finish from Ben Johns. That's what we want to do in pickleball is move your opponents when attacking to the sides and then clean it up right down the middle. Well done by the best player.
Second serve.
Clayton Powell handcuffing Collin Johns.
0-2-2.
And a little sloppy start here for the top seed.
2-0-1.
That's what we call an ATP, and well defended by Clayton Powell around the post early.
3-0-1.
A little confidence brewing inside the youngsters.
Line for Powell with discipline, though, from Aidan Schenk on the left side. Going toe-to-toe with Ben Johns in the dink battle. Explain the strategy behind the dinks.
3-0-2.
Yeah, if you keep it low, you will not get attacked. If you leave that ball up in the air, here comes trouble, just like that one. So that's the beauty of our sport. You have that no volley zone or kitch in the darker blue where you can bounce the ball. You're not allowed to go in there and volley the ball. So you are methodically waiting for a chance to get up to the net and have the opportunity to work the rally and then attack a ball that does travel a little too high.
0-3-2.
Schenk catching the baseline. Gets the serve back. These are games to 11 win by 2 side-out scoring.
Yeah, I asked him about the tomahawk, which is when you hit the ball with the paddle facing the other way like that one, and he said he has it.
Second serve.
Inside-out volley from Collin Johns, who has a big tennis background. The oldest of 7 Johns siblings, including his brother Ben and sister Hannah, who will be joining us for the interviews.
There, we talked about the strategy. If you let it travel too deep, Ben Johns can pick out such detailed spots for targets on your body. Great shot from Ben there. Still yet to score, though, here.
Finally, took 10 minutes to get on the board, but the Johns brothers, the 1 seed.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of them. They will be happy to slow it down if necessary and play a patient game.
Second serve.
Tomahawk, and that's the non-racket sport background of
1-3-2.
Aidan Schenk that can really throw you off early in a match if you've never seen it before.
Recall. 1-3-2.
Vicky Ryan there, our referee, recalling the ball. Let's serve. We replay it.
Point.
So that's the question, is how long can the teenagers playing in their first pro tournament on the PPA tour maintain the fundamentals?
Side out.
1 point game. Schenk and Powell recover the serve.
3-2-1.
2 more tries on their side. Ben Johns strikes fast. Score is now 3-2-2. That third number denoting that Aidan Schenk is the second server on his side if you're new to the sport of pickleball.
Side out.
And now Ben is eating like the goat that he is. You got to get that ball to bounce or he will tag you, which is a shot you'll see a lot in pickleball. A lot of players go home with unwanted tattoos.
2-3-2.
And just beautiful sorcery there from Ben Johns as he can put that backhand down the line. He will hold this. Watch this one. Again, that dink doesn't get down and just flicks it right down the line. Beautifully done. And the big difference in watching the Johns versus other players is they never look like they're in a hurry ever. Very under control, very patient, on their way to the kitchen line.
Point.
Schenk and Powell playing in their first ever PPA event. What a way to enter center court. National Television Best men's pickleball team in the world. So far, rising to the occasion on their side. Not perfect, but a good start for the teenagers.
4-3-2. Side out.
I talked to Collin about coming up to Seattle for the first time, and he said the creation of pickleball would be something the Johns family would do because they had all the equipment in the backyard and loved to play games, so he could see that maybe they would have created pickleball. And there is a wild swing by Collin and just doesn't get it over. And that's 34 in the center, 36 on the outside, just a little lower than tennis.
Point.
And Collin's like, you want to give me a second try on that? I sure appreciate it. And that one gets demolished.
4-4-2.
And it's interesting, Collin has really dedicated his game to playing great doubles with his brother.
5-4-2.
Practices a lot on the right side of the court, leaving that more dominant side to his younger brother.
I saw it out.
And since we're discussing that there, you can challenge, Michelle. You get 2 timeouts. If you have a timeout, you can challenge.
6-4-2, 1 minute.
And if they weren't sure on the call there, the one thing they could have done is challenged, and it would have worked as a timeout, so they could have gotten the benefit of both of those things, but they're just going to call a timeout here. So decent start for the teenagers.
We will take a timeout as well. The Johns brothers on top by 2 in the opening game.
For many of us, we just charge ahead because planning for your future takes time. And right now, thinking about your financial future takes on new meaning. At Baird, our financial advisors have guided individuals and families to achieve their goals through every crisis evolution and groundbreaking idea for over 100 years. That's the difference between thinking you're ready for what lies ahead and knowing you've planned for it. Now that's different. Discover the Baird difference.
legendary icon deserves another.
Get in!
The future of Chevy electric SUVs has arrived. See Barbie in theaters now. And experience the all-new Chevy Blazer EV-SS.
Stay 2 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card. Book now at bestwestern.com.
New Orleans don't make a lick of sense to most people. A big city built below sea level that throws logic out the window and beads to strangers. And our chicken is no different. A fast food restaurant selling fried chicken that takes 12 hours to marinate? That makes no sense. But it does make delicious. The best recipe for big flavor ain't about logic. Because you know magic when you see it or when you taste it. We don't make sense. We make chicken.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Back in the birthplace of pickleball, here are the rules to know if you are a new member of the, what some call a cult, the fastest growing sport in America, pickleball. Dave, what else should our fans be looking out for?
So, as we talked about earlier, we're going to play best of 3, win by 2, though. So when you get to 11, you got 11-10's not good enough. Side out scoring means as long as you've got the ball, you can keep serving. We see a lot of runs in pickleball.
For one timeout, server, 2
You
timeout.
can only score when you have that ball. So if you get it back, keep it. And as we mentioned right before the break,
Time
you
in.
can
6-4-2.
challenge, but you're calling your own lines are the players.
Side out.
Sign out for the teens who called the timeout.
I like it.
Response for them. Aidan Schenk
4-6-1.
will take back the serve to Collin Johns. The first server on his side.
Second serve.
Yeah, and if you're wondering how big is that kitchen where everybody gathers, 7 feet from the net on
4-6-2.
both sides. So when people are reaching in, they're like 10 feet away from you. So you got to have magic hands to hang at the top level in this sport. And again, if that ball doesn't bounce, trouble.
Something to also pay attention to is that third shot. We talk
6-4-1.
about it a lot, the serving team, Collin Johns, and where he places the shot. Lob was just back.
Second serve.
Yeah, you mentioned the third shot there, and Ben Johns is trying to just
6-4-2.
drop that into the kitchen, meaning bounce, so that they can make their way to the kitchen line themselves, like Collin did right there.
Point.
Can either drop it or drive it.
7-4-2. Point.
Wow, and now when it rains, which it isn't at all here in Seattle, Chamber of Commerce weather, but now even the net
8-4-2.
court is turned to the Johns' favor.
Side out.
And quickly reverses course.
Four, 8-1.
So when you're
Second serve.
defending like that, you want to try and do what we call a reset and put the ball, again, trying to get it to bounce in the kitchen,
4-8-2.
because unlike tennis, you cannot close the net and volley from an inch away. But
Side
it's full arsenal coming from Ben Johns, and he has so many weapons, and he continues to work on his game, and that's what's scary. And he's also closing in on
8-4-1.
100 PPA gold medals, which is far and away the highest.
Yeah, 93 golds for Ben
Second serve.
Johns. He's already punched his ticket through to Championship Sunday in singles and mixed doubles with his
8-4-2.
partner, Annalie Waters.
Side out.
let's see if these boys can
4-8-1.
come up with a good third shot and get up to the kitchen and see some of those tomahawks that Schenk was putting out there to start with.
Clayton Powell hit a nice third shot drop there, and the goal of dropping that ball into the kitchen, Dave, to be able to crush
Yes.
the net, correct?
Well, be able to get to the net, because the advantage is the receiving team, unlike tennis where the server has the advantage, because we have the 2 bounce rule where the serve has to bounce and then the return has to bounce, and then you can go.
Easy finish for Collin Johns.
And that's why hours are spent on the court, Michelle, of working on the short game up at the non-volley or kitchen line, because they know at the highest level that ball has to bounce.
Point. 9-5-1.
Oh, okay, last-ditch effort from Aidan Schenk. Gets the crowd going early from Seattle.
There you go. You got yourself an ESPN highlight, and just a wild, desperate crowd there in the last one, but he'll take it.
He didn't even know it would in and over.
Point.
Oh, dear. And Vicky Ryan's caught him, so even if just a small
10-5-2.
part of your foot sneaks in there, it is a fault.
That's why it's called the no volley zone. You cannot take a ball out of the air while stepping on that line, as we refer to as the kitchen.
And just absolutely dangerous and disguised from Collin Johns, and after being down 4-0, rampage.
23 minutes to get it done, but they take game 1, 11-5, score line for the 1 seed.
My dad went EV.
It's electric. Don't be shocked.
The guy who's eternally locked out of his email is going EV. Nice car.
It's an F. Rhymes with cat.
You think they don't charge fast enough or go far enough.
Up to 80% charge in 18 minutes.
Range? Heck, we could go to Mexico.
You Kevin Bacon?
Blue or red? I could also make it play nature sounds if you want.
Introducing the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 with up to 360-mile range. When it comes to EVs, we're thinking of every mile.
Hey, Dad, I got an A in my book report.
That's cool.
And I went for a walk in the woods, and I didn't get a single flea or tick on me.
You are just the best.
Right? I'm great.
You are great.
This flea and tick season, trust America's #1 pet pharmacy, Chewy.
With artificial intelligence, groundbreaking transparent hood technology, and intuitive design inside and out, this is the all-new GLC, completely reimagined.
Give us baseball's next-level superstars. And the sounds of the game.
That was fun. Y'all might need to come around more.
Yankees, Orioles. Camden Yards will be fired up for Sunday night baseball.
For the most.
Hats off to Bob Shaw, retiring after decades in our community. A class act from Christmas parades to the studio. Central Oregon Daily News wishes Bob Shaw a sparkling retirement.
It started as a dream. Okay, an obsession. Hard work and dedication made it a business. Hey, we get it. That's why we're obsessed with providing business internet worthy of your business. 1 gig internet, fast enough to meet any need. A virtual data superhighway. So what are you waiting for? Get the internet your business needs from TDS.
Get up to speed and out the door with Good Morning Central Oregon. News that matters and prepares you for the day ahead. Join Emily Kerr, Scott Elnis, and Megan Sinclair. Weekdays on Good Morning Central Oregon. Have you made the switch?
Ben Johns has put his stamp on the sport of pickleball, and he seems untouchable with 93 gold medals to his name here on the Carvana PPA Tour. His mixed doubles partner, 68, right below him. This is the context for you of just how good Ben Johns is in the sport. His brother Collin, number 4 with 24 golds, but the disparity, 93.
It's staggering
68.
what this guy has done, and that is a count across men's doubles, mixed doubles, and singles. So he is so good across the disciplines, as is our other superstar that you saw there, Annalie Waters, who would fit right in on this court with all the teenagers, as she's just 16 years of age. Nice ball there from Schenk. So they had a good start, so the nerves weren't there early, and then there were problems adjusting to the precision of Ben and Collin Johns. So just puts you in a little bit of awkward spot, and you leave the ball up in the air, and it's trouble.
Second serve. Side out.
ATP attempt from Clayton Powell gone wide.
0-0-1.
Aidan Schenk will take the second serve. Still no score here in the second game. This is best 2 out of 3. Johns brothers could close it here. ATP just wide again for Powell.
Yeah, and those are rallies they're used to winning, but the defense of the Johns brothers there, and then smart by Collin, letting that ball never get to the sideline.
Ben Johns sneak attack down the line on Aidan Schenk. Side out.
Yeah, and that's the part of pickleball where if you leave the ball up, it's usually your partner who pays the price.
Big finish for Powell that time. Ben and Collin have won over 23 titles together as a duo.
Point.
Beautiful forehand down the line. Yes, both using signature paddles from Yola with their names on them.
1-0-2.
Perseus and Scorpius
Short serve.
for Collin. And you saw a let serve there, but the let serve has to clear the kitchen line or it is a fault there. So even though it went over, that's not good enough.
And on the serve, if that ball touches the kitchen line, it is out. Something to note.
And that is called a failed, Ernie.
Second serve.
The kitchen is flat, so you can jump over it as long as your takeoff and landing are clean. But you got to strike the ball a little cleaner than that as well. There's Collin, unable to reach it.
Point.
The other thing you're seeing is why is Collin standing off to the side of the court when his brother's returning? That's called stacking because they want Ben to run over and play the left side, which is the most effective for those two, and they will never change.
Point.
Oh, look at that little look away attack from Schenk. I like that.
3-1-1.
Watch this little swing.
Ben Johns will put that ball away every
Second
time.
serve.
This is the opening first match of the day, round of 32. We will have gender doubles all day today
3-1-2.
from Seattle. Schenk and Powell had to earn their way through the 32 seed, the last team to make it in. Collin and Ben the one seed, of course, as they always are. It's a point system.
Point.
Yeah, and Schenk and Powell actually had to qualify in, so they had to win 2 matches in the qualies just to have a chance to play in the main draw here. So nice job. Now here's the 1 seed on national TV. Go get them, boys.
Somewhat of an advantage to have a couple matches, though, before.
Yeah, that was earlier in the week, so they've got some action there on the court, which is good for them. I agree with you. And now it's the Johns that are leaving the ball just a little too deep into the kitchen, and Schenk and Powell are taking advantage. And it's tough to hit winners against a team that plays as good a defense as the Johns, so well done from these two.
The grab from Ben Johns finds the corner. One more service chance for Schenk and Powell.
3-2-2.
To protect a 1-point lead. A 4-point lead in game 1 that evaporated once the Johns brothers got going.
Point.
And a little bit of life from the crowd here in Seattle.
Yeah, they'd love to see this get
4-2-2.
very interesting later in game number 2. Get some more of those what we call firefights, where all 4 players at the kitchen smashing it away.
Side out. Two, 4-1.
Beautiful inside out from Powell there, and this time on this match is invaluable to these two to learn what the best in the game looks like live on your paddle. And that's the danger of switching, is if you hit a short return, you are charging across the court, your partner's trying to help you out, but it's usually a bad recipe, and it certainly was there.
Attack once more, catches Clayton Powell, who has no answers for that backhand sneak down the line.
Yeah, that's the signature Ben Johns shot, which can just, there's so many spots he can hit with the exact same swing path. Okay, that serve just clipped the tape again. Vicky Ryan all over it.
4-4-2.
Ben Johns coming to life.
Yes, so we have the earning when you jump the kitchen on your side. A Burt, because we love Sesame Street, is when you jump the kitchen. That was more of a poach Burt, so as you said, a half Burt, but we'll give it a full.
5-4-2.
Once again, poor Clayton Powell at this point looking
timeout receiver,
for answers.
6-4-2.
They called timeout at this exact stage of game number 1 as well, down 6-4. So again, got ahead. Now here comes the best team in the world.
4 unanswered points from Ben and Collin Johns, with a chance to close out the match after this short commercial break.
Pickleball Central, your trusted pickleball experts.
The magic never leaves you when you stay with the Disney Resorts Collection. It's up early, giving you extra time in any of the 4 theme parks every day. And welcomes you back to even more magical moments you'll never forget. Now you can save up to 25% on rooms at select Disney Resort hotels. Why would you stay anywhere else?
One legendary icon deserves another.
Get in!
The future of Chevy electric SUVs has arrived. See Barbie in theaters now. And experience the all-new Chevy Blazer EV-SS.
The 3 for Me, only at Chili's, serves up bottomless drinks, bottomless chips and salsa, and an entree with sides starting at just $10.99. Wait, $10.99? Oh, someone's gonna get in trouble for this one. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
Coming back really inspired me to want to be my very best for this team. It's really showing up every single day, knowing I can lead a generation coming in after me.
Back in Seattle, this is one of the upcoming 10 tour stops for the Carvana PPA Tour. What else do we have on the docket here for us, Dave?
Well, we're going to Orange County next weekend, which is going to be a lot of fun. Then up to Utah, Kansas City, here we come, Cincinnati, and then Vegas. And then at the end of the year, right in November, the National Championships. It's going to be the biggest tournament ever, Pickleball Boulevard. It's going to be unbelievable. So much more to come on that historic event.
Side out.
So another smart, as they learn their way through this, to be calling timeouts to stop momentum. It worked briefly in game number 1 as well.
Second serve.
Schenk and Powell owe a lot of
4-6-2.
their advancement in the game to some legends of our game, Steve Peranto and Wes Gabrielson, also from the Oregon area.
Ben Johns on the flying attack. That's what he's capable of. We've seen sparks of it this morning.
And they're such a good team
6-4-1.
because Collin knows his brother inside and out, which balls to leave. You wonder why Ben comes so far over. It's all part of the strategy.
Point.
And perfect placement there from older brother Collin, who turned 30 years of
7-4-1.
age just a couple of weeks ago.
Second serve. Seven, 4-2. Point. Yes, love is long.
Powell with a wishful ask of, did you see
8-4-2.
that out, please?
Point.
And now some errors, much like game 1, creeping in and 2 points away from moving on.
Referee timeout.
Ben Johns and Collin Johns, 2 points away from sealing the match on the young, hopeful teenagers. We'll be back with the rest of this one after this short break.
We owe great times to good friends, to the glasses that spark conversation, to the ideas that then pour out. Ours came from a night like that, and somehow survived the morning after to make our own tequila. It wasn't meant to leave our house, but since we made this for friends, we thought it wouldn't hurt to make a few more. Grab a glass, amigo. Our tequila is your tequila. Our casa is your casa.
Money stresses me out. So I got this Experian app, and now I'm checking my FICO score. I got a new credit card, and I'm even finding ways to save. Finally, getting smart about money feels really good.
See all you can do with the free Experian app. Download it now.
The rematch you have all been waiting for. This is the fight that everybody wants to see. Dustin Poirier will fight anybody, anytime. Have you ever seen anything like Justin Gaethje? The most violent man in the most violent sport. Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen.
Hats off to Bob Shaw, retiring after decades in our community. A class act from Christmas parades to the studio. Central Oregon Daily News wishes Bob Shaw a sparkling retirement. With TD and out the door.
Paddles, shoes, socks, you name it.
Yeah,
Got
they're
it.
based right here as well, so the whole crew is there. Pickleballcentral.com, and call them up if you're not sure what paddle to get started on your journey, because I know once you start, you will not stop playing this sport.
Johns Brothers 2 points away from closing the match. Side out there. So Schenk and Powell will take another chance.
4-9-1.
As their time seems to be winding down here on center court. Got to get a run here.
Second serve.
Yeah, we're going to need to use all our rock climbing background to climb this mountain that is in front of them here.
4-9-2.
But
Side out.
and unfortunately still at the base of Mount Rainier.
Nine, 4-1.
One angle from Clayton Powell. A little bit of life on their side as they save one serve down,
9-4-2.
one to go.
Side out.
Okay.
Four, 9-1.
Still seem to be having fun out there, Mish.
Point.
That was the goal, they told us.
Yes.
16 and 17 years old, first PPA tournament for Schenk and
5-9-1.
Powell. And to even come away with any amount of points against the Johns brothers should be considered a win at their age.
Oh, just a
Second
little
serve.
off balance there for Schenk for that unique style he has, and that's going to cause people fits because the tennis
5-9-2.
players, you can read their shots, those that come from that tennis background, much easier than rock climbers and other sports backgrounds. So Schenk's going to be a problem as he gets older and older. Yeah, and the time on this court today
9-5-1.
will get them just a little step closer to the best players by getting this experience.
Second serve.
Just wide for Ben Johns.
9-5-2.
Enthusiastic early finish for Clayton Powell. Bit of life on their side.
Yeah, beautiful move here again, as we mentioned in Ernie's, when you jump your corner there, and he did it perfectly.
A cross-court winner for Aidan Schenk.
Yeah, such a funky delivery there on that what we call a tomahawk when you
691.
reverse the paddle and use the length of the paddle for extra reach and able to get that down on the ground.
Second serve.
Powell attempts to speed up, and Ben was waiting for it there. And just watching that very unique
692.
extended arm backhand of Schenk's, just an interesting stroke to watch.
Side out.
If you're going to speed it up on Ben and Collin, where do you put it?
You want to.
961.
It depends on where the ball before it came from, but Collin is more likely to reset it if he's back off the line. If he's up on the line, he will counter, and he has a book on every player. And now Schenk and Powell, the other thing they've done is they will enter the algorithm that Collin has on every player in the game.
Second serve.
Match point number 2 for Ben and Collin Johns.
10-6-2. Point game match.
Tough miss for Aidan Schenk, and the John brothers are through to the second round. A bit of a slow start for the 1 seed, but ultimately prevailing over the youthful talent of Schenk and Powell with a very promising future in the sport.
Yeah, that's what's beautiful about our game now. There's all these kids that are starting out. We talk about the tennis backgrounds. Well, guess what? A lot of these kids just are going to have a pickleball background. That means our sport is in very good hands.
The road doesn't get easier for the Johns brothers. They have Todd Fote and Wyatt Stone coming up next, and we will check in with Hannah Johns for an interview after this short break.
For many of us, we just charge ahead because planning for your future takes time. And right now, thinking about your financial future takes on new meaning. At Baird, our financial advisors have guided individuals and families to achieve their goals through every crisis evolution and groundbreaking idea for over 100 years. That's the difference between thinking you're ready for what lies ahead and knowing you've planned for it. Now that's different. Discover the Baird difference.
One legendary icon deserves another.
Get it!
The future of Chevy electric SUVs has arrived. See Barbie in theaters now. And experience the all-new Chevy Blazer EV-SS.
Another health insurance commercial, another aqua aerobics.
Yep, most health insurance companies see us all the same. Smiley seniors, golfing, hiking.
Don't forget antiquing.
That's why I chose Humana.
They see me, not a stereotypical senior.
I'm pre-diabetic, so I talked one-on-one with the Humana health educator who really helped me. Now I'm taking free cooking and meditation classes.
Not aqua aerobics.
Better care begins with listening.
Humana, a more human way to health care.
Stay 2 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card. Book now at bestwestern.com.
KFC's ultimate barbecue fried chicken sandwich. Fried chicken, crispy onions, bacon, cheese, pickles, and sweet honey barbecue sauce.
It's a barbecue in every bite of KFC's ultimate barbecue sandwich.
Back in Seattle, Ben Johns and Collin Johns are through to the second round after an 11-5 and 11-6 finish over the young unknown entities as we check in now with a third member of our crew, Hannah John, standing by with the winners.
Well, boys, what a fun first round against two fresh faces on tour, two youngsters who really came in with a lot of game. Tell me about what you saw on the court against them.
Yeah, you never know what to expect. Certainly, we've never seen those guys before, so you just expect them to play well, try to play your game, settle in, and get used to the conditions.
Well, neither of you are morning people. You're sometimes referred to as slow starters. What are you focused on in these early matches?
Yeah, that's definitely something that happens to us. Yeah, just get some touches, some balls in. Make sure you're just playing the right shots. Get a lot of reps. Make sure you're staying in rallies and not making too many errors. That's how I settle in most comfortably, most quickly.
Well, guys, almost undefeated together this season, almost perfect. What is it going to take for a team to take you guys down?
Well, we're not going to reveal that right now, but we certainly hope that we can keep it going, and we've had a very fortunate start to the year, and certainly we're going to try our best to maintain that streak.
Some really interesting shots, some interesting grips from your opponents this morning, funky stuff they were bringing to the court. Tell me about that, what that looked like, and what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that's one really cool part of pickleball. It's such a new sport. There's a lot of different styles that can work and you can do well with, and it makes a lot of matches very different, a lot of players very different. I think everyone likes a unique style, so you just got to be ready for almost anything.
All right, guys, good luck with the rest of the day. Michelle, Dave.
Hannah, thanks. So we know what Ben and Collin are capable of with over 23 combined gold medals as a partnership, but what about Schenk and Powell, throwing them into the wolves here on Center Court on National TV? We'll check in with them next.
For many of us, we just charge ahead because planning for your future takes time. And right now, thinking about your financial future takes on new meaning. At Baird, our financial advisors have guided individuals and families to achieve their goals through every crisis evolution and groundbreaking idea for over 100 years. That's the difference between thinking you're ready for what lies ahead and knowing you've planned for it. Now that's different. Discover the Baird difference.
One legendary icon deserves another.
Get it!
The future of Chevy electric SUVs has arrived. See Barbie in theaters now. And experience the all-new Chevy Blazer EV-SS.
Stay 2 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card. Book now at bestwestern.com.
New Orleans don't make a lick of sense to most people. A big city built below sea level that throws logic out the window and beads to strangers. And our chicken is no different. A fast food restaurant selling fried chicken that takes 12 hours to marinate? That makes no sense. But it does make delicious. The best recipe for big flavor ain't about logic. Because you know magic when you see it or when you taste it. We don't make sense. We make chicken.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Back in the Emerald City and the 1 seed taking care of business against the qualifiers, Ben Johns, the greatest of all time in the sport of pickleball. And this week, Dave, the birthplace of pickleball, treated both he and Annalie Waters, the best female in the world, to an experience of a lifetime playing ball on top of the Space Needle. What was this experience like, Dave?
It was unreal to be up there because we were above the observation deck up there. So don't lob. But what a great celebration of pickleball. It is the official sport of the state of Washington, and we were up on the top of its most iconic view. So what a celebration it was, and so much fun to be up there. Just careful.
And Collin Powell and Aidan Schenk at least came away with 11 points on the Johns brothers as we talk things over with them in their first appearance in a PPA event with Hannah Johns.
Well, the youngsters made quite an impressive performance here on center court in round one. Guys, you were just on ESPN against the #1 team in the world. What were your thoughts before you took the court?
I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit nervous. Like, this is a pretty high level competition. We don't really have this type of competition where I'm from. We have a few guys, but just not too many. So I was just super excited for the opportunity to play a team this good, to play like the best. So yeah, it was pretty fun too. Like, they've just got so many good shots, and like their style is so just like smooth and fluid. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it.
Well, tell me about what kind of confidence it gives you going forward. You got to see what's at the very top. What are you taking away?
Oh, definitely. We just have stuff to work on, and we're going to continue working, so hopefully we can be out here again. And thank you to all the fans who came out to watch us today. It was a lot of fun.
You guys are local players. You said you came from a few hours away in Oregon. Are you guys planning to continue playing together and stay on the tour?
Yeah, he was kind of like my first doubles partner, so we've been playing for a while, and we're going to continue playing together because I think we've got some good chemistry, and we're going to grow together and just have some fun playing the sport. So,
well, one of the things that Ben and Collin don't have to do is go through the qualifier bracket, which you guys got to do in men's doubles just to get to this match. What is that journey like?
It's tough, a lot of pressure since it's one and then you can't get into the main draw again. So a lot of pressure, a lot of fun though, getting to see some new teams and new people. And so, yeah.
Well, I think this is not the last we're going to see of Aidan and Clayton. Guys, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you compete on the tour.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Dave, Michelle.
What a moment for the young teenagers, and one day maybe they'll be able to crack the PPA Tour rankings, where Collin Johns and Ben Johns are atop the list. Riley Newman also in the mix, coming up next year.